October is officially Farm to School Month, and Louisiana is celebrating in a big way. Recent cuts to USDA programs, however, are threatening these programs statewide. TWILA's Neil Melancon shows us one program in central Louisiana that's trying to keep children connected to where their food comes from.
Here at Cottonport Elementary, if the kids have a favorite subject, it's lunchtime. The students are only too happy to line up for it, and meatballs are on the menu today. Today's lunch is special as they get to learn that the beef came from right here in Louisiana.
Nutrition-wise, we know that the product is coming from our state. It's not coming from somewhere that we don't know. It's a lot more nutritious. As a registered dietitian, I know that there's nothing more important than feeding our kids products that are local and that are not processed. So it's a way to highlight that. Also, it just tastes a lot better.
Welsh says last year they got assistance from the USDA through local supply chain funds, but that ended in 2025. She still sought out local suppliers like Coastal Meat Company because of how important local suppliers are, which is why she'd like to see the federal funding restored.
It was a great initiative because last year that was the first time that as a supervisor of food service that I was able to even consider buying local beef. Before, because of the volume, it wasn't something that we could even think about doing. But because the product was so great and we had such a good response from our faculty and our parents, we were able to incorporate it into our food bid. But I think in order for it to grow across the state, those funds need to continue.
Chip Perrin is both a cattleman and co-owner of Coastal Plains. He says the move to incorporate local beef into school foods enabled him to not only feed kids, but hire people in his rural area.
Programs like this help keep all of us in business. And as when somebody gets out, it's so hard to get back in. You know, as these bigger cities are growing into the rural areas and land is being bought up at high prices, that's never going to be converted back to cattle.
And having cattle is what keeps these kids fed, which they clearly enjoy. Perrin says directly feeding people from Louisiana farms should be a point of pride for everyone, city and rural alike.
I mean, it's definitely pride, and you love to see kids eating your beef and enjoying it. One thing that I've noticed in the last few years that we've been in business is that we have seen the quality of cattle and the quality of beef go up in Louisiana because of programs like this, because of processors like us who are providing the availability for these cattlemen to process their beef locally.
Now, while the Farm to School program will continue here at Cottonport Elementary, without USDA funding, it's unlikely to expand or even continue in schools across the state and country. Local producers feeding local kids are a vital part of the food supply chain. Reporting from Cottonport, I'm Neil Melancon.
The statewide Farm to School Conference was held this past week in Baton Rouge. For more on the conference, as well as resources to help you connect your school to agriculture, log on to our website at twilatv.org.